Have you ever heard a sound so unsettling it makes your heart pound and your mind race with fear? Imagine, if you will, a quiet house nestled under the blanket of a pitch-black night. All is tranquil, all is serene. You're alone, wrapped in the comforting silence, the world outside shut away. The only sounds are the gentle hum of the refrigerator, the faint ticking of the clock, the subtle creaking of the house settling into sleep. Suddenly, a knock. A sharp, abrupt sound piercing the silence like a stone thrown into a still pond. It's coming from the glass, a chilling echo in the quiet night. Your heart skips a beat. You dismiss it as a stray branch or the wind playing tricks. But the night is windless. The trees stand still, their branches far from the window. A spike of fear prickles at the back of your neck. You tell yourself it's nothing, just your imagination playing tricks. Perhaps it's the old house contracting in the cool night air. You convince yourself of this comforting lie, and the fear subsides, leaving you in the cocoon of your peaceful solitude. But then, the knocking comes again. Louder this time, more insistent. Your heart pounds in your chest like a drum, echoing the rhythm of the knocks. You look towards the window expecting to see a silhouette or a wandering night creature. But the window is empty, the glass clear and untouched. The knocking continues, rhythmic and relentless. It's not coming from the window. The realization sinks into your gut like a stone tossed into a dark abyss. You turn around slowly, your breath hitching in your throat. Your eyes land on the mirror hanging on the wall. The mirror, a mere decorative piece, a benign object in your home, has become a source of terror. And as you stand there, frozen by fear, the knocking comes again. This time, it's unmistakably from the mirror. The sound resonates, ringing in your ears, as if calling out to you from the other side. It's the mirror. The mirror is knocking. A mirror, a simple, everyday object. Could it possibly be the source of such terror? The question dangled in the air, as palpable as the fear that gripped me. I found myself rising from the comfort of my bed, drawn towards the mirror by an invisible thread of curiosity and dread. Each step felt like a mile, and my heart pounded like a drum echoing through the silence of the night. The room was still. The only sound was the steady tick-tock of the old grandfather clock in the hallway. It was a familiar sound, but tonight, it felt like a countdown. Each tick a step closer to the unknown, each talk a step further from sanity. The mirror stood there, innocently reflecting the dim light of the moon, oblivious to the terror it was inducing. As I approached the mirror, a sense of anticipation hung in the air, thick and heavy. It was the kind of anticipation you feel when you're about to dive into a pool of cold water, or when you're standing at the edge of a cliff, looking down at the chasm below. The knocking happened again, loud and clear, unmistakably coming from the mirror. My heart skipped a beat, and I could feel a cold sweat trickling down my spine. I found myself frantically searching for a logical explanation, a rational reason for the impossible. Could it be the house settling? But the knocking was too rhythmic, too deliberate for that. Could it be a prank? But the house was empty, save for me. Could it be my imagination? But the sound was too real, too tangible to be a mere figment of my imagination. Every theory, every possible explanation crumbled under the weight of its own implausibility. I was left standing in front of the mirror, my mind a whirlpool of fear and confusion, my heart a frenzied metronome keeping time with the incessant knocking. But there was no logical explanation, only the chilling reality of the mirror's secret. What would you do if you knew you weren't alone, but you couldn't see who or what was with you? Imagine this. You're sitting in a room, the air heavy with an unsettling stillness. You can't see it, but you can feel it. An unseen presence like a whisper in the air, a chill running down your spine. It's there, lurking in the corners, its existence marked only by the eerie knocking sound that seems to come from nowhere and everywhere at the same time. The knocking grows more insistent, echoing in your ears, a relentless reminder of the unseen entity that shares your space. It's like a heartbeat, thumping away in the silence, a constant rhythm that sends waves of fear coursing through your veins. You can almost sense the desperation in those knocks, a plea for attention, a demand to be acknowledged. In the face of this unseen terror, what would you do? Would you cower in fear, trapped in the icy grip of terror? Or would you muster the courage to face the unknown, to confront this invisible intruder? In a desperate attempt, you try to communicate. You speak out loud, your voice quivering with a mix of fear and determination. You ask questions, demand answers, your words hanging heavy in the air. But there's no reply, no voice echoing back, nothing but the persistent knocking that bounces off the walls, growing louder and faster with each passing moment. You try again, your voice stronger this time, cutting through the silence. You plead, you shout, you demand to know who or what is there. But the unseen presence remains silent, its only response the increasing intensity of the knocking, a sound that feels like it's burrowing into your very soul. In the face of this unseen terror, the only weapon you have is your voice. But what good is a voice when your words fall on deaf ears? When your pleas for peace are met with nothing but a relentless, deafening knock? But the only response was more knocking, louder, faster, more desperate. Can a mirror serve as a portal to another world, another dimension, a world of spirits and the unknown? As the nights wore on and the knocking persisted, a chilling thought began to take shape in my mind. Could it be that the mirror, so ordinary and unassuming by day, was a gateway to another realm by night? A realm where the laws of our world held no sway. A realm of spirits and specters, of shadows and shivers. The very thought was enough to freeze the blood in my veins. Yet there was an undeniable pull, a morbid curiosity that wouldn't let me look away. Fear and fascination waged a war within me. On one hand, the fear was palpable, a cold and clammy hand clutching at my heart. The knocking, the spectral handprint on the mirror's surface, the feeling of being watched. All signs pointed to a haunting, a presence that was not of this world. Yet, on the other hand, there was a spark of fascination, a spark that the fear couldn't quite snuff out. The idea of another realm, so close yet so far, of beings unseen and unheard, was intriguing, even alluring. And so, despite the terror gnawing at the edges of my sanity, I made the decision to investigate further. I began to research, to dig deeper into the mysteries of the mirror. I read through countless accounts of hauntings and paranormal phenomena, of mirrors serving as portals to the other side. I started conducting my own experiments, trying to communicate with the entity, to understand its intentions. Every night, as the knocking echoed through the silence, I would sit by the mirror, my heart pounding in my chest, my breath hitching in my throat. I would call out, ask questions, wait for a sign, a response. The fear was ever present, a constant companion in my nightly vigils. Yet there was also a sense of anticipation, of stepping into the unknown, of unraveling a mystery that was as old as time itself. And then, just when I thought I couldn't take anymore, the knocking stopped. What happens when you're left hanging, when the story isn't finished, when the fear remains? Imagine waking up in the dead of night, your heart pounding in your chest as the echo of the last knock on glass fades into the darkness. You're left with a lingering fear, a confusion that seeps into your every waking moment. The mirror, once a harmless piece of furniture, now holds a terrifying secret. The aftermath of such an event is a chilling cocktail of emotions. It's a mix of fear, of dread, of the unknown. A mirror is no longer just a mirror. It's a portal, a gateway to something far beyond our comprehension. The once familiar reflection now sparks questions, questions that haunt the quiet moments, the moments before sleep claims you, the moments when you're alone with your thoughts. Every creak in the house, every flicker of shadow, every strange sound in the silence of the night, it all drives you back to the mirror, back to the fear. It's like a constant reminder of the unseen presence, an echo of the haunting truth. And you're trapped in this cycle, caught in this unfinished tale of fear and mystery. The need for answers becomes a thirst, a hunger. It gnaws at you, urging you to delve deeper, to uncover the truth behind the mirror's secret. You find yourself on a relentless search, a quest for understanding. You read, you research, you question, anything to shed light on the darkness that now taints your life. But the truth remains elusive, hidden behind a veil of uncertainty. And so the tale remains unfinished, the fear remains unvanquished. The mirror, once an everyday object, now holds a power over you. It's a constant reminder of the unknown, of the fear that lurks just beneath the surface. And so here I am, still waiting, still wondering, what will happen when the knocking starts again? Y'all, we're wrapping up here, but don't you go anywhere just yet. Show some love, hit that like button. Fancy more content like this? Go on, subscribe and let that bell icon ring so you won't miss a beat. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, sharing is caring. Until next time, stay tuned.